Right, I am now going to be talking to you guys about the principles of progressive overload. So you are all in what I would call a muscle hypertrophy program. And what that essentially means is building muscle. Again, you're not going to get fucking bulky. Unless you're a man, then we just don't have the testosterone levels to make that happen. But what we do want to be doing, even for my physique, if you want to reach this kind of physique, then what we need to be doing is making sure we are lifting close to failure. Now, every single one of you, I will have sent you a message when you join telling you that you need to be training to failure or within 3 reps of failure. Now, certain exercises are safer to do that on, like your bench press. We don't want to be training to failure when the bar is coming down, because if you get stuck underneath that bar, then it's not good news. But with most other exercises, as long as your setup is correct, then it is perfectly fine, especially on the machines as well. Because if you just fail a rep, nothing happens. Like, there are safety measures in place to prevent any injuries or anything from happening in that sense. So the principles of progressive overload are essentially making the stimulus harder so that you can keep getting stronger and building that muscle. So I'm going to do an example with a shoulder press. Now, when you're brand new, you want to feel the exercises out. You want to start gaining confidence and feeling like you're knowing what you're doing. Now, form over weight every day of the week. So I want you to always think about mastering your form before you significantly start to change the weights. But I've just grabbed myself a couple of 4-kilo dumbbells. Another quick thing I actually want to say is do not use the reference weights that I am using in all of your training videos. The reason why I'm using really, really light weights in those videos is because I might record 30 or 40 videos with God knows how many takes in order to get all of those videos into the exercise library in one go. So I might be lifting for about 3 hours to get some of those videos into the library. So if you see me with small weights, it is purely because I am knackered. But I don't want you guys just to be using the weights that it looks like I'm using in that video, because they are usually way too light for all of you guys. If you're just doing 3 sets, 10 reps, then you can go way heavier. But I'm just going to start with these weights. Now, what I always say, I need to try and count and talk at the same time, which is going to be difficult, but let's say we've programmed 10 reps. That's my 4th rep. And I always say we want to be training within 3 reps to failure. Do not count these, by the way. I think I'm on 7. But if you are able to do more than 3 reps over and above what I have programmed, then it is time to go up on the weight. So you guys can see these weights are not testing me. My form's bang on. I can literally keep lifting these weights until I absolutely exhaust myself. But again, muscle hypertrophy typically occurs between 10 to 12 reps, which is why, that's a lie, between 8 and 12 reps. Some of the time we are going to drop down to 6 reps within your programs, because I want you to try increasing the weights. So when the reps are significantly lower, you're going to want to think about increasing the weight. When there are things like a 1/4 rep included in your program, you might want to stick with the same weights that you normally would use and see if you can still complete them with that extra 1/4 rep. Or you might need to drop down a little bit. But they are obviously not a good use of weights for me. So I'm going to grab some real weights. And now I'm going to show you guys the difference. So another good technique with this, when the weights are getting heavier, it's going to be a lot harder to just get them into that starting position. So I want you to think about putting them right on the edge of your knees and kicking them up. So use the momentum from your legs to push those weights into position. Like that. Right, now, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are much harder. 5. And you might even be stronger than me. 6. We're all different. 7. 8. 9. You can see my face has changed. The weights are slowing down. 10. 11. So you can see, whew, the difference between me actually training and then just going through the motions. Going through the motions, guys, you're not gonna build muscle. You want to be actually training. So like I say, if you can do more than 3 weights, I'm shattered now. If you can do more than 3 weights, 3 reps over and above what I have programmed, it's definitely time to consider increasing the weights. If you feel like your form is good and you're not compromising your form by going up a weight bracket. There was another thing I wanted to say then. Oh yeah, and so like now, I'm fatigued. I need to take a rest. So usually on an exercise like this, depending on whether it's a superset or not, but with an exercise like this, you need to take that rest that I have programmed for you, because if you're not, you're probably going to struggle with your second set. But if you're not struggling and you're just going straight back to it, again, it's telling me you need to increase your weights. So I hope that was helpful.